Who are you breaking up with?
Just me. Okay, it's because I got it downloaded.
His boyfriend.
No, this your audio is breaking up. I think it's just because I got it downloaded.
Boyfriend from Davy Street.
Funny. I thought that was you.
Why does it say you're offline yet I can see us?
I just went online. I don't know.
I am thoroughly confused now. Hey, Ham. I see you're sporting the same hairdo as me.
Yeah, I thought I'd model myself after you.
Oh, that's...
Oh, God.
recommend that.
Oh, no, we don't want that.
For rule number
that,
one
you're gonna
of
have to-
being me is the liver is evil and it needs to be punished.
Yeah, that's what I was about to. I was going to go with an IV drip of maple syrup though.
No, that's just gross.
Actually,
Yeah,
that
nobody.
would
I don't like maple syrup.
make, that
Yeah.
would make Ham Stryder number 3. There was a number 2 for a while.
Yeah, but he was
What's that?
Stryder with an I.
With a 3.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Stryder with a 3.
Stryder.
I just found £10 on my desk. That's useful.
It's better than under your belt.
True.
Oh, there we go. Now, it was Twitch. Twitch was failing me again.
Ooh, topics.
You know what I watched a commercial of right before I walked in here? Bacon bowls. You can make your own bacon bowls in the microwave.
I want them. I want the bacon balls in my mouth.
Eat your porridge right out of a bacon bowl.
Exactly.
There's
I
a
liked
joke
it so much, I ate the bowl. Okay, I am ready to go on this end. Maybe. Yes, I am officially ready to go on this end.
There are a lot of topics.
Yeah. Yeah, there are.
All right.
Some of them will blast right through, though.
Mhm. Here we go. All right, this is February 9th, 2014, and you're watching a very long episode of 413.
2 FPS, 3 RPGs, and 5 sim-type games.
Yeah.
I think you'd be able to come up with one here.
I'm actually pulling this one hard.
Ask all the people that need hacks to play Call of Duty. I could hear you groaning
Oh, yeah.
inwardly every time Sin's mentioned. You just cringing.
All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to episode 413 of MODSonair, bringing you the week in gaming news as modders, developers, and gamers ourselves. I am foyleman, and on the show, full crowd. On the show today, we have with us Welshy. Hello, Welshy.
Hello.
Hello. We have Stryder with us. Hello, Stryder.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, and Ham is with us. Hello, Ham.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, and Breesy. Hello, Breesy.
Hello.
All right, he unmuted his mic. So, before we begin, let me remind you all that this show is recorded live. You can join in and message about the topics right down there as we go along. And we will be posting all this stuff over at the modsonline.com website at the end of the week, where you can go and watch all of the last 412 episodes, or listen to at least, because some of them were in audio only. And for those of you who haven't been here before, there may be some adult language or adult themes, you know,
Or both.
sexual persuasion kind. Or not.
Of the sexual persuasion.
Words. The show has changed.
I know.
That's just
Yeah,
a
Ham, you
possibility.
missed a bit. We went through Vancouver.
Okay.
Okay, so
Something different.
I don't know about this show being like the longest episode ever, but there are some things that we could talk about.
Mhm.
39.
There
possible
was
things.
news. News happened.
News definitely happened.
News happened.
It did.
Things happen. It's worth talking about.
And now we are bringing
It's
you
worth
the
talking
news.
Right. So, so now we are
That's what
bringing it. Let's jump right into it. I'm not even going to hesitate. I'm going to start off with what's going over on EA, who's getting some slack over Dungeon Keeper, which is a game that they put out on mobile platform. And the reason why they're getting so much hate mail over this is because of the way that they did it. Now, EA has put this game out previously, not this specific game, but this series of games out on the PC. So now what they're trying to do, or what it appears that they're doing, I don't think they're trying to do it, is lure PC gamers over to the mobile market. See, I don't think that's what EA is doing, but that's what's happening.
I don't think that's the issue is this Dungeon Keeper game is basically you go and you have to send your minions to do something, and then they come back, and it progresses that way. However, what they did was they made it so that unless you actually buy in-game currency, gems or whatever, your minions move so slowly that you can't play the game.
Exactly.
And that's what the big outcry is that they have made it so that this pay-to-play on a free-to-play game has just totally destroyed it, and it's ridiculous.
But the
people have
pay-to-play
played this.
is not required. It just makes the game easier to play.
It makes it
from
playable.
a PC player perspective.
Well, even if I was to download this game, like it's an EA game, so I'm not going to download it. Period. In that sense, however, you got a game that's supposed to be what do they call the mobile games are supposed to be like jump in, jump out. It's a very casual type of game.
Right.
This one here, you have to jump in and say, okay, go mine that rock. And the original Dungeon Keeper game took you 30 seconds for them to mine that rock. Now they're talking 4 to 8 hours.
Yes.
For them to mine that one little rock out.
Yeah.
So it makes the game unplayable. Or you can give EA your wallet, they give you some gems, and then all of a sudden your guys do it in 30 seconds again. To me, that is all part of the monetization of the gaming industry that unfortunately EA has just totally embraced, and they actually said it was coming. They were going to monetize every single aspect of every game.
They even went so far, though. They even went so far to try and trick you into the rating system. If you take a look at this picture, this will pop up and say, rate your experience. Rate 5 stars or rate 1 to 4 stars. Now, the tricky part here is that if you rate 5 stars, it goes right to the rating page where you can give it a rating. If you press the 1 to 4 stars, it opens up a forum so you can send them ways and how they can improve the game.
Ugh.
So it's sort of a trick.
Yeah.
Don't rate our game on the store page unless it's 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a 4 out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5 rating on their store pages, yet the Metacritic score is like 0.5 out of 10.
Yeah, what you see these shady tactics. It just, if you have to resort to this type of stuff, you need to really go back and reevaluate who you are as a company, what your philosophy is, and what you're trying to do.
It's EA.
This is their practice.
This is their practice. They're like
They've already sat down.
they're
and
like,
talked about
okay,
this.
where's our business model? Oh yeah, it's on the yeah, nailed it. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but that's the direction. And until the consumer base starts wising up to this ridiculousness and not allowing it to happen, not paying for this, it's just going to keep happening, and it's going to keep getting worse.
I still think that this is a typical, a semi-typical mobile method of getting money out of people. I don't see how it's that much different.
But you see, okay, I'm going to compare it to a nonsensical game that I have on my phone. I have a slot machine game. If I've got a minute or something to kill, it's like, all right, a couple spins on the slot machine, done. I have coins that I can earn on this slot machine. I get coins. At no point do I have to say, all right, I get to do my coins, and I can't play this again for another 8 hours when this wheel is done spinning, or else I wouldn't be playing that game. To me, this game,
How's that different?
Well, I can go and I can buy coins if I want to, but I don't need to play the game on a consistent basis. I can carry on playing this game indefinitely without having to buy coins. If I want to buy coins to, I don't know, say I've got look at my wallet, I've got 1 million coins in there. It doesn't matter to me. I do it just to fucking press spin, right? Whereas this, you log into this Dungeon Keeper game, you play it, and you get to do one thing every 4 to 8 hours.
But isn't this the same? Let's compare it to a very, very popular game instead of a random casino game. Candy Crush. You get to play a level. At the end of the level, somebody has to give you, or somebody has to like you or something like that, or you have to pay 99 cents to play the next level.
But that's where if you run out of lives, isn't it?
I guess so.
You can play as many levels as you like, but if you run out of lives, you can then buy lives, or you have to wait for them to reset.
I'll say this. This is something that I heard on a TV show I watched recently, and when you have something where it's like, well, this other game does it, or this other whatever does it as well. One of the characters responded, "That doesn't make you right. It just makes you both wrong."
Okay.
And that's kind of how it is.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I don't like this model. I agree. I'm just trying to compare it to what is already out there, and I'm saying that, and I'm trying to get to the point that EA is just trying to do what everyone else is doing, but I guess I'm not right in saying that.
I think it's the level that they're doing it on. I think they are just, it's just so extreme here.
Yeah, I think they're taking it too far. Okay.
And
They've beyond crippled the game to try and monetize it rather than letting it stand on its own. And if you want to monetize it and patronize that method of playing, you can. This one, they've taken a game and they've crippled it. They've hobbled it so much that unless you pay for it, you can't play it.
Let's imagine that this was a different IP altogether. Same gameplay, different IP. I think it probably would have gotten some criticism, but maybe not as much, because you've taken this sort of beloved franchise and then it's like, hey, here's a new title from this IP, but let's ruin it for you. So you've got that too.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. That's why they're getting in so much trouble over this.
Yeah.
Well, they're also going along and with this EA Sports, the 2014 FIFA World Cup. They've decided to stay with the same old engine and the same old platforms.
No, it's all about crowd physics this year.
Oh, you got to have the crowd physics.
But they won't be bringing it to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It'll stay on the older versions of the. You
can get the crowd physics, so when you have the riots in the stands.
Yeah, it's so realistic. Look at that guy get hit with a chair.
Projectile vomit physics. It's going to be awesome.
Do they still have monopoly on the sports games?
Oh yes, or at least the football games they do.
Okay. And when I say that, people, I mean that they actually paid them to make sure that no one else can make a game.
Yeah, I think 2K still has their hands in baseball and
basketball. Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, baseball, basketball, and hockey. However, the hockey is however often it comes out. But,
I believe EA tried to put out and bring back NBA Live, I think it is, which everyone loved like 5 or 6 years ago, and they tried to bring it back, and it's just kind of stopped. So, but with this, people don't care about the World Cup one. They want the actual yearly version.
Yeah, FIFA Sports or whatever it is.
But it'll just be FIFA and then whatever the year is, so 2014 and 2015.
Yeah, you played that at PAX last year.
I did, yeah.
Just so you could piss your roommate off.
Yes, I did.
Well, just like all EA games, you're required to have an Origin account, except on the PC you have to have Origin running at the same time. That's going to be true when it comes to Titanfall, when that is released. Vince Zampella, our favorite person in the world, says yes, it's going to require it, and anybody that doesn't like it can
not buy it.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Not buying.
Not gonna buy it.
Not buying it.
I wasn't buying it before.
I think they're but this is EA's corporate thing. They want all of that cash flow running through their store.
Yeah.
And we saw this early last year when they pulled all the games off of Steam. So
I guess Origin still has this idea that we'll limit these high profile games to our digital distribution service, and that'll keep people there, and they'll end up buying from us, and they'll become sort of these residual customers. The problem is that's not happening. People only sort of reluctantly go to Origin for these big high profile games. Other than that, they just don't want anything to do with it, and it's only because their hand is being forced, not because
that's the humor behind it, because then EA takes that and puts the PR spin on it that they've got so many more people using Origin than ever before and all this. Well, no, it's you've taken and you've held them hostage to certain IPs.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason your numbers are bolstered. So
right.
I difficult time for that mindset. I still don't. I believe there's a healthy thing when you have competition to a digital distribution service. However, the requirement of every developer now or every publisher popping up with their own little store, and you can't, play anything, or you make it so that it's only available on your store. If you're going to have your own store and people love it that much and they want to support you directly, go for it. If it's cheaper on your store by $5 than it is on Steam, people might say, you know what, I love your IP that much, I'm going to save that $5. Or I'll pay the extra $5 and I'll play it on Steam because I've already got that service installed, running perfectly, and things like that.
And the thing is, with Steam has everything, whereas Origin is only EA. Why would I want one separate one when I can get them all in one place?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Did Microsoft get in trouble way back with Windows and requiring Internet Explorer, or was it their search engine or something?
No, it was that they wanted to. They refused to release the source code for the actual internet section of Windows 7 or Vista, one or the other. So that they essentially they wouldn't release the source code, so nobody else could make a browser for it.
And why is that go to court and win, and this could not? I mean, isn't that being held hostage?
Well, not really, because it's not like you could just you don't have to. Well, that's actually. I suppose you can play games on other things. Would be the difference.
I can't play those games though.
No.
And as a developer, can't I bring them to court over that, saying I want to be on EA, but I also want to be on Steam? I mean,
not if you. Well, it depends if you already signed a contract, which I would guess that there's a couple of little nice lines in there that are about Origin. Like if they're taking you on, and they're going to be your publisher, well, you're going to have to sign something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's why, because of the contract. I'm just trying to wonder if there's some sort of possibility for a developer to actually be on multiple platforms, and I can't think of one.
Because
one or the other.
The Internet Explorer thing was it was so that at that point nobody else was able to, so that you had to use Internet Explorer because like Mozilla, and I don't think Google Chrome was out at the time, but Safari and whatever they didn't have the source code, so they couldn't actually make anything, and that went to court. Microsoft lost because the court pretty much just went, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, there could be a lawsuit in there. We'll see. We'll hear about it soon enough, I'm sure.
Yeah, but that's like saying, devil's advocate. That's like saying, well, sorry, you have to shop at IGA. You can't shop at Safeway. You can only buy this. You can only buy this brand of cupcakes at IGA. You can't buy it at Safeway. Mm-hmm. And it's if you're going to allow that as a consumer, fine. But at the same token, you can't. As a developer, I don't think you can dictate where your stuff is marketed until you go and like Welshy said, sign a contract saying I've got distribution through this channel or this channel. If you independently develop, say, an indie game, then yeah, you can plug that on as many platforms or storefronts as possible.
As you would try, would you be able to? No, you would not be able to get on Origin and something else together. I can't think of one game.
No. Well, but that said, isn't EA trying to get more indie developers to release on
maybe
their platform? And by doing that, if a developer is trying to get their name out there, and it's like I can put my name on or my product on 50 different digital distribution sites, and if I want it on EA, I can only put it on one. So yeah, sorry, I'm not going to put it on Origin. Then I'll take the 50.
Yeah,
and that's what's going to happen.
Because that's where people are going to look first, I think.
Well, and then Steam has also got its issues where if you wasn't there the one title that was pulled off of Greenlight because they were getting published somewhere else?
Yeah, Paranormal Activity.
Yeah,
green
and
light, so that's
Steam was
something
like,
else.
no, I'm sorry, you're not going to come on Steam now because you're being published somewhere else. Which
And I don't think it was because they were being published, was it? It was because they were being.
They sort of found a shortcut where they were on green light, but then another company said, "Look, if you let us publish your game, we'll guarantee that you get on Steam."
Mhm.
And so Valve was sort of like, you can't go and circumvent the Steam process that, or the Steam green light process that way. So because you did that, we won't put you on Steam at all. Eventually, the game is now on Steam, but
yeah, Gabe got mad.
Don't make the fat man mad.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Well,
Boomer
Titanfall
explode.
has some minimum PC specs, which don't amaze me in any which way. So
No, it's just 64-bit OS, which I find humorous
still
because
bullshit,
this
yeah.
game is this game coming out or released already for the Xbox 360?
No,
Not
not
as
yet.
far as I'm aware.
It's coming
No,
out on the
it
Xbox
is-
360, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and I thought it was coming. What is that?
that is me about to press mute until the garage door closes.
Broadcasting live from the garage. It's Ham.
okay, another game. Did you guys want to talk about Insurgency?
Yeah, sure.
I can't because I haven't yet played it until later. So
I also haven't played it yet, so I'm out of this conversation as well.
Well, I've only played the mod. I've been looking
I watched
forward
I
to-
watched a video and it looked cool.
oh, I have a
So
video.
that leaves me and Stryder then.
What is?
Sorry,
Well,
that
we
was a video.
we got some review codes given to us to take a look at Insurgency. It's a as Ham said, it started as a mod and now it's a standalone game. It's got two different
That's a
game
fucking
types.
loud video, that is.
It
Yes,
is.
it is.
I find myself. Yep.
Still,
Yeah.
it's 7%. There's 4%.
All right. Now
That's
I
better.
don't have to yell. It's a spawn-based multiplayer game that it's kind of awesome in the fact that it's takes kind of the best of what Battlefield has, which Breesy said, this is basically Rush, and but instead of playing Rush against what we were playing today, anyways, instead of playing Rush against human players, we were playing against AI. The AI seemed, for the most part, pretty intelligent. You could set the difficulty level of the AI and all that, and you get your classes and have a good bash at it. The multiplayer was not bad. That was one of my biggest likes for it. Was there was no like death showing up. There was no like flashy on the screen like plus 50, plus 10, plus 50, your points going up and all that. It was basically a straight up shooter. Required some skill. If you got dead, you got dead.
On your head.
No. No. But
Is this associated with the mod? Is this the same thing but just in full release?
that I don't know. I think it
Or
is.
is this just something different?
No, I think it's the same team that have just now gone to a standalone game. It's on the Source engine, so the store page on Steam says that it's got mod support. As of right now, I can't find any modding tools or anything like that for it, but it's going to be.
I like that.
Hammer.
If we can make maps for
What it reminds me of is a cross between Battlefield and Red Orchestra. That's what it feels like to me.
That's an interesting
In,
combination.
in the way that you move and the way that you shoot, and just the general feel of it. That's more Red Orchestra, but the actual game modes, the weapons and things like that.
It's
is
like
more Battlefield.
It kind of sounds like that mod that was Project Reality, I think, which is a Battlefield 2 mod. Just basically that. It's like it's kind of like making Battlefield like Armor, but with keeping the game modes. So you had no HUD, it was that kind of thing.
Most definitely, though, I definitely have to say, very impressed with it. The mechanics were smooth. The audio on the guns is fantastic. The environments are definitely not a corridor shooter. The one map that we were stuck in today had a couple little glitches, but it's right now it's early release. Everybody that buys it can play it. It's on early release, so they're still pumping out patches and deving it up and stuff like that. So I actually am really looking forward to when they finally release the modding tools for this, and start seeing some custom maps and custom.
It says on their page, their Steam page, they includes level editor, and actually, if it's Source Engine, even if you don't release a, you can get it to work. Yeah.
So
that sounds great. I absolutely love the mod, and it was very intense. And when I saw some of the early trailers for the non-mod game, I got a little worried. But from the sounds of it, sounds like you guys enjoyed it enough. I'm excited to play it.
I remember playing the mod too, and enjoying it for a bit. Yeah.
All right, we'll check it out later, probably. I hope.
Yeah, I think we'll be playing it some more after the show, and you guys head over to Steam and buy it, and you can probably join us. There you go, listeners.
How many players? Like how many multiplayers?
Up to 32 on the co-op, and so I'm guessing up to 32 on multi as well.
Wow.
It's the maps are fantastically big. You can squad up. You're limited to. You can't have an entire team of shotgun guys.
Good.
Or an entire team of machine gun guys or snipers, right? So you're a limited number of each class type, and
just to point this out, in the Steam files, there is actually a file that says SDK launcher. But there doesn't seem to be anything you can actually click on to launch it.
Yeah.
But there's definitely stuff in the files there.
Well, the good thing about
content.
the Source Engine and Steam is they make it very easy to put out mod tools because it already exists pretty much. And even if, like I said, even if they didn't, if they found they didn't have time or whatever.
I got it. It's in the source files. But there it is, Hammer application. So yeah, it's already in.
Nice.
Awesome. So
start making maps right now. Go.
Start making maps. Yeah, sorry, I gotta go. I gotta make some maps.
I'm actually extremely tempted to start again because it's the Source Engine and it's a current game, if you know what I mean. Like people are actually going to be playing this at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Morphus said, it's inexpensive. I think it's 15 Canadian bucks.
14.99
US dollars.
It's $14.99 USD.
Okay.
Or you can get the 4-pack, which is obviously 4 copies, one for you and 2 for your friends, at $44.99, which is still cheaper than things like Call of Duty. So you get 3 extra copies of the game, or 1 copy of like Battlefield, for more money.
Hey, you guys ready for Modern Warfare 4?
Yeah, of course we are. We're loving it.
Yeah.
But haven't they said all they should say in all the other Modern Warfares?
Yeah.
How many times can they kill that British guy and bring him back?
He'll be Robo-British guy.
That's assuming you've paid attention to this story and played a single-player version of it. Do they even do single-player anymore? The franchise?
Mash button to win. Mash button to win.
You know what I noticed about that poster?
Everything's a cutscene. Skip.
I'm assuming that's an official poster, right?
No, that couldn't be.
Because what I was going to say is it looks extremely Battlefield, that poster.
I know.
Yeah, I think that's what
Purpose.
I think that's what it is, Battlefield, and someone's just put that over it. But I don't know. There's 2 press releases that came out this last week regarding Call of Duty, and unfortunately, like the Sledgehammer one, to me, it's Sledgehammer Games is developing 2014's Call of Duty release. They've been working on it for the last 2 years. How is this news now?
Only 2
Is
years ago
your
was like
is your
summer.
last release of this game starting to flag so much? What is it? Call of Duty Ghosts? It's fading into the mist so much, so rapidly that you have to start pumping out the hype machine for the next one. I just don't get it. And now they're going to ensure more quality by having a 3-year development cycle. They're going to have 3 developers, 3 different studios working on it, so that you still get one every year, but it's going to take 3 years to build.
Yes,
Yeah.
instead of 2. So
Instead of 2. So
fewer
look for
bugs.
the price of your game to triple,
Yeah.
because, or at least go up by a third. You'll be paying $120 for the next Call of Duty because it's going to take 3 years to build rather than 2.
I've read about this story in a few different places, and all the comments that I've seen, or even just the opinions within the articles themselves, they all sort of reference this idea that, oh, what a joy that now the developers are going to be able to take a longer time for Call of Duty, but we're still going to get one every year. And it's never really occurred to anybody that why is there a need for a game with an expiration date like this? Why do we need a new Call of Duty every year?
Because you got to buy the
When
next
nothing,
one.
but when nothing changes, that's
Nothing
what's
changes.
killing me. Nothing is changing in these games. They're
I-
regurgitating maps.
Yeah, they might as well just call it Call of Duty 2013, Call of Duty 2014, 15.
Yeah.
You know, just go on. It might as well just name the series that way. There's just no reason. As a developer, I think you should have a compelling reason other than money to develop a sequel, to really start on a sequel. But I mean, how many Call of Duties for the last however many years could have been released as map packs?
In all
All
honesty,
of them.
All of
in
them.
all
Yeah.
honesty, in all honesty, the developer integrity that you're speaking of, there is no
Doesn't
such thing. It is
exist,
all
yeah.
monetized now, and this is not the Call of Duty is not being churned out for the love of the game. Call of Duty is being churned out to appease the shareholders and the stakeholders. There is no love of the game, and that's why we keep getting the same blah blah all over. And it is just saddening. It is really, really saddening that they're riding this IP that much. They're just nothing new coming. There's nothing new coming.
They're gonna ride it to the ground in the
Well,
moment.
they've already ridden it into the ground.
Yeah,
I mean,
Now
we-
they're like riding underground.
yeah. They're
yeah,
violating the courts.
they're riding terrestrial worms. It is insane.
Well, at this point, I guess I'm going to have to pause the show. And if you guys want to keep watching, there's only a small 99-cent fee. Otherwise, you'll have to tune in next week to see the rest of the show.
Oh my goodness.
But don't worry, we got the collector's edition coming out at the end of the month. Where
Yeah.
You can pre-order.
Gotta,
You can pre-order the 2015 collector's
you get
edition.
you get a
bobblehead.
You get a life-sized Welshy.
you get a lifetime, yeah. A Stryder, a Breesy bobblehead, and a personalized "fuck you" video from Stryder.
Fuck you, internet.
Yep.
Uh,
All right.
And in each of these videos, Stryder just looks like he hasn't slept for about 4 weeks because we've just kept him out doing these personalized videos.
Okay.
we're joking.
Yes.
We're joking about our part in that whole thing. We're joking.
Grilled cheese coupon. That's good.
We will. All right. So moving over to Steam. Steam has opened up a new part of their website, their system. I don't know. They're gonna have a new blog called "Recently Updated," where you'll get to see what the recently updated games are, such as Postal 2 is on there right now.
Yeah, not even just games, all the apps. Anything that's on Steam that gets an update is going to be on this. So
This is good because sometimes I'll get a download and there's
You don't know
there's
why.
always a view. Yeah, there's a view news button, and you click it and it just takes you to their news page where there's nothing
Right.
posted. It's like, so what did I just download?
yeah,
In
And
theory, you'll now see
even from
what
point of view of games
changed.
I like, it's like I'd like to know what they updated.
And in some cases, I'd like to be able to say, "Don't download. I'm going to see if it's worth it."
Well, exactly. Yeah.
That is why I uninstalled Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah.
I was
because
sick
that thing just all the time.
of the daily update on Left 4 Dead 2 because they released, what was that game mode that they put out? And it was
Oh,
You had every day mode or something?
yeah, it
Yeah.
changed every day.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
what you're thinking.
The modifiers or something, wasn't it? Where
Yeah,
it was like a different, like you do one and it would be like witches everywhere, or chainsaws only, and that it was that.
No, I don't think that was it. It was where you had to King of the Hill kind of thing. You had to defend the hill and last man
I don't
standing.
remember that.
But
I don't remember
it was
that.
so it was like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to install it. And I had the urge because we were in a little bit of a gaming lull here. I had the urge to reinstall Left 4 Dead, and I thought better of it.
All right. Well, Steam is not just stopping there. You know, they have their console on the way, and along with the console, what everyone else really likes to do is, I don't know anyone that actually does this, stream music on their television, right? So why not bring music to Steam? I'm assuming that's the logic. I don't know what the logic is.
It allows you to play any of the music. I thought my interpretation of this topic was, is you got to this music player allowed you to play any of the music that was in any of your downloaded Steam games.
It says integrated with your existing music collection.
Okay.
With Steam. It doesn't necessarily say your game music. It says your music.
My interpretation.
Yeah, no, it does say pointed Steam to your local music directory.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, you can use Steam to play your music.
Yay!
Well, whip the fucking do.
Coming soon, the Steam MP3 player.
Yeah.
What will that be called? Microsoft had the Zune.
Unless they're going to hook that up to you. No, I can't think. I'm not even going to postulate.
That's no good for me because I don't have any music on my computer anymore because I just use Spotify.
Well, it could be worse. You could have like 5 terabytes worth of music, Stryder.
Yeah. I don't have that much.
Oh, there we go.
I do have a lot, but I don't have 5 terabytes. Like, come on. I got 2.
2 terabytes, sorry. Well, if you wanted to know what some people out there who are using Steam are set up to use, hardware-wise, Steam has a hardware survey review for January 2014 showing you what kind of video card usage, which seems to be dominated by NVIDIA, PC
Do you guys
processors.
participate in those?
No.
In those surveys when they come out?
Do we get to? Or do they just take your info?
No, you opt in.
I thought you submit.
Yeah, in January, I had a pop-up saying we're doing a survey. Would you like to participate? And you either click yes or no. You click yes, and it just goes, thank you very much. We've scanned your system and removed all your credit card information. And
we now own your soul.
No, I do not participate, no.
Someone's getting a new house loan.
But it's interesting to see that most people use Windows 7 64-bit with 8 gig of RAM, 2.3 to 2.7 gigahertz. At least dual core is the most common.
But really, they've made it so you can't use XP anymore. Mm-hmm. Vista was a joke, so you have 7, and then nobody is going to go to 8.
Well, I don't know. They might now with the new go to desktop on launch. Right, Ham's already got it installed, I'm sure.
Windows 8. That was a mistake. Installing Windows 8 was a mistake.
Ham has
horrific
Windows 8
mistake.
installed only because there is no uninstall option. We won't even let you format it off of the disk anymore. You install Windows 8 and it protects that area. You cannot uninstall it. It's permanently Windows 8.
If there was some sort of magic undo button where I wouldn't have to go through a lot of hassle to make sure things work properly, I would have done it a long time ago.
He's still
No,
pressing
Tried,
control.
but all he got is can't let you do that, Dave.
Try even do it through the command line, like do the delete. I can't let you do that, Dave. What?
Like Stryder renumbering all the topics.
That was funny.
Control C. Control
As soon as I was like, I shouldn't. I'm going to do it anyways because I know Foyle's system.
Yes.
Don't change all the topic numbers.
Yes, change. Yeah. crazy. Okay. Also along the lines of Steam, I guess, we have this Portal 2, I'm going to call it a mod. And basically what they did was for Portal 2, they got rid of the idea that the gun can shoot your portals. Instead, you can only use the ones that shoot paint, which was also part of Portal 2, but this is now your only option, and it's an entire modification. I forget how many levels there are, 17 or 20, 26 levels.
That sounds awesome.
And, well, it sounds interesting. I'm not going to say it sounds awesome, because when I started watching it, I was like, it's okay. I mean, they did a lot of work. They did a very good job, but I don't know if this is something that that gets me to go back and play.
I wouldn't reinstall just to play this.
No, I think it's really cool to take that one particular mechanic, which was in the game, in the campaign, turned out to be a big thing in the latter section, but to just remove the portals altogether and say you can only do this one thing and craft a campaign around that. I think it's nice. Maybe not awesome, but it's nice.
I've got a problem in the fact that Portal is a non-replayable game. It was just, Portal and Portal 2, it's a puzzle game, yay, but it's a novelty, and I don't like novelty games because novelty games tend to get really old really fast.
I think there's a space.
Your entire game is based on a novelty. And realistically, Portal was a novelty. And there's a lot of people out there right now that are like, yeah, Portal, da. They're screaming at their computer. But still, it's a novelty. It's not something that is intriguing, because once you solve that puzzle, unless you have that disease where the next morning you can't, you go to sleep and you can't remember anything that you did the day before, that game has no replayability.
I think I don't disagree with you. I think there's a spot though for games like these where it's sort of limited in replayability, but I think it has to be amended with user-created content, or at least from the developers, content that comes in installments. So here's the January pack of puzzles.
Oh, are you telling me now that Portal needs DLC?
No, I'm saying that, like you said, once it's a puzzle, and once you solve it, it kind of takes away from the glamour a bit, which is why
it would be like doing the crosswords in a newspaper, and then erasing them after you get it all done, and then doing it again.
But is that
and then erasing them,
90% of single-player games?
But most single-player games, okay, yes it is, except most single-player games are also dynamic. They're not a static environment that the solution is the same every time.
Right. Right, there's some variability there.
There is some, it might not be giant, but yes, so eventually a single-player, you can take Call of Duty. We'll say Call of Duty. You can play single-player on Call of Duty. And yes, it will tend to start getting repetitive if you keep playing that same mission over and over and over and over and over. And eventually it's going to have no replayability.
Right.
But the time for that to happen compared to I solved this puzzle, do I want to go and solve it again? I just solved this same puzzle and nothing is different. That the steps I have to take to solve this puzzle are exactly the same again and again and again.
Yeah.
That is what I'm saying you're going to end up being.
It's true. In that regard, you could sort of create a keyboard macro and solve.
Yeah. And then you can watch yourself play Portal from a portal of your room.
Yeah. So I get that. I just and I completely agree with you. I think it just something like this would need a stream of new content, whether it's from the developers or the users, to really have a long life. But I don't think a game like this doesn't have a space. Things like this do need to exist. It's just that they need to be priced accordingly, because of what they are.
Well,
once you solve
was a tech demo for a game that never went anywhere after the tech demo, was my thought, except for releasing another tech demo because it's like, hey, we worked on this, might as well make some more puzzles. And then the other side of this is, you're saying user-created content. The problem with Portal's user-created content was that it was either insanely easy or absolutely ridiculously difficult.
Yeah, it was difficult in some cases.
There was no in between ground. It was like either walk up here and shoot a portal here to win, and blatantly obvious, like arrows pointing at it, shoot portal here, or it was so insanely difficult
that you end up sitting against your shower wall, crying to yourself because you don't understand.
You and I take video gaming totally
No, it's just, I remember playing that mod that you're talking about, where it was like the thing, and I could only just do the first like mission on it, and I just couldn't figure out what to do after that. It was ridiculous.
Well,
I'm thinking about you a little bit now.
you're gonna have a lot of crap, but then you're gonna have something like this. That's pretty clever.
Which, I mean, and see, I'm not saying this is bad, but I don't even know what to say now because I just read what Foil typed, and that's funny as shit. The same holds true with user-created content for any game. You get maps and mods for shooter games or RTS games or puzzle games. You're going to have your good with your bad. You're going to have your gems with your turds, and it's up to you as the player to find those, to find the difference between the gem and the turd.
Yeah.
And the worst is when you find turd gems.
No one likes turd gems.
Let's move on.
Moving swiftly onwards.
Okay. I don't even know why this ended up in the topics, but I skipped ahead on my own. Okay, closest you can get to actually being in Skyrim. I don't know. It's a Skyrim mod with Oculus. I was completely uninterested.
Yeah.
Not to mention the guy tattoos his eyes and puts his goatee in a.
Could you potentially have more fun if you took Oculus and combined it with, say, the Wii remotes?
Well, that's kind of what he's doing here,
That's
isn't
what he's
it?
doing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's using that Razer something, the Razer controller, I think it is.
Hydra.
I think so. I think that's what he's using, which has motion capturing kind of stuff,
So-
just like the Wii.
Yeah. Oh, and he's on the running.
Yeah, he's on the baby bouncer.
The running
the
man.
one with your socks game. Hardware.
It's disorienting enough to be in the Oculus and that transition from Oculus to non-Oculus. If you're running like a fucking retard on your socks on a slippery surface, being held up by the waist because you can't do nothing else, right? Seriously, when you take that Oculus off and your first steps, there's got to be video of these guys at their first steps after getting off of the retard map and taking the
That's right.
because it's going to be like, bam, baby's first steps.
I don't know. I kind of want to find a way to put a lock on that belt so he can't get out of it. And then leaving. Okay, so here's another one. This is the one
Who is ever going to do that? Who in this world is going to buy one of them and put it in their, wherever they've got their computer and use that? Other than Ham.
Francis.
Here's the funny thing, though, is they've done. I mean, okay, so they've implemented it into a game that has a ton of gameplay, a metric shit ton of gameplay. How long are you going to run around in this retard belt?
Oh God!
Yeah.
Like how many hours do you have in Skyrim right now, B?
200 and something.
So
Probably.
200 hours of standing and running without lifting your knees.
Let me just double check that.
As long as the Cheetos were out of reach,
Well,
that would be pretty
good way
good.
to lose some weight.
When you get on your horse in Skyrim, do you have to do the trot motion just so it knows you're on the
216
at all times.
hours.
At all times, you have to have somebody behind you with like coconuts.
coconut?
I could see this being great for 5 minutes at a time in an arcade. You know that.
It'd be funny and fun for like a half hour, and then it would just
Yeah.
be like, I'm tired now and I want to sit down.
Yeah, in this instance, it would be horrible. I always sit down, play Skyrim, I'm like, oh, I'll play for half an hour. 6 hours later, I'm still playing it. Like,
But see, that's the unfortunate thing is they've taken something that is very much arcade, and they've tried to take that experience because they had the Dance, whatever simulators. They had games like this where you had to move, and the platform in the arcade, it was giant and it was a ball, and you got to walk on the ball, and you could it immersed you in the game. Now they've tried to take that experience and move it into your living room. But they're not taking into account that you go to the arcade, you plug in $20 worth of quarters or whatever it costs to play, 2 minutes of this game, and then you're done, and you have to get to the back of the fucking line.
Right.
You do this at home, people are going to be having coronaries. They're going to be genetically deformed from having to do this duck walk that they're doing on this slippery surface. Their offspring are going to be born without the ability to move their knees when they walk, and it's going to be horrible.
Yeah, take a look. A great example would be take a look at any of the House of the Dead games. Those games, back when they were in their heyday in the arcades, they were great, fun games. You put your money in and you play for, I don't know, you get kind of far enough, you feel satisfied. It's a hard enough game. The game is designed to basically eat quarters, and you don't have an unlimited supply of quarters, so you get a good experience, and that's it. It's over. But then look at that game when it got ported to the home systems. All the flaws become apparent, and because you aren't surrounded by the energy of the arcade. And all of a sudden, it's not really that great of a game, is it? And it's not really that great of an experience. Not because it's any different, but because it's out of that environment and you've got more time with it.
There were so many people that were their desktop machines were being wrecked because they were shoving quarters into the disc tray, ruining hardware. That was the bigger problem with that.
Okay, here goes I'm still not
All
sure
right.
if this is real or not. Goat Simulator.
better be real.
He's typical Welshman. Better be real.
This is in the UDK, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's proof of concept of a game.
A Game Jam game, yeah.
Goat Simulator 2014.
Oh, there's no way this is real. This has to be something else.
Yeah.
It's blatantly a different game where they've just changed the model, isn't it?
It has to be, yeah.
That's what it seems like, I know. But I don't understand why they started off with the getting run over and over.
I like the little blurb they've got. It says, Ghost Simulator brings new gen goat simulation to a whole new level. You no longer have to fantasize about being a goat. Your dreams have finally come true. WASD to write destiny. And then underneath, added ladders.
Goat ladders. And the goat is climbing a ladder.
Yep.
Yeah, I just don't. I saw this and I was like, what the fuck? They were going to do a sheep simulator, but they figured it's too big of a hit. And
That rear
It was
camera
entirely funded purely by me.
Goat
All
in the
right.
City.
all right, here's one. Which is going to bring up a topic that I don't know if you're ready for. I'm trying to.
we're going to say penis, just so you all know in the audience.
Get ready for the penis.
Yeah. Okay. Now, this is. I'll start off with the
That
facts.
could be taken out of context. Just I'm gonna get a soundbite of Breezy's
there-
comment there.
There's this game called Rust, or it's I think so. I think that's the game that
It's a
called
game
Rust.
called Rust, and
Right.
Rust is essentially Daisy, but
Yes.
With no
with
zombies.
less zombies. Yeah.
It's a zombie survival game without the zombies.
Mhm.
So now it's just a survival game.
Survival game. Now that's important. It's a game just like any other game where you're running around and you shoot people, except there's this one band of people calling themselves the Penis Brothers that go around and say, "Take off your pants in the game, or we'll shoot you." Now this has gotten me to think of certain.
They used to be the knights who say knee.
Mm-hmm. Due to certain PC issues that are coming up in schools and everywhere all over the place, and some of the recent news about how people are, such as this one kid who belongs to a group of bronies who gets teased so much in school that he tries to hurt himself. It brings up the point of bullying, and I'm wondering, now maybe this topic made me think of the topic of bullying, and I'm wondering at what point will laws and media start saying that you are being bullies inside of a game? I mean, they sort of do it now. But what makes up a bully? Is it the idea that you, as a group, try to force your peer pressure on another person, taking off your pants, join us, or we'll shoot you, in a game that is set up for people to shoot other people already?
Grow the fuck up.
I agree, but I'm just trying to say, you see where I'm trying to go with this? Is this
I see where you're going, yeah.
And what is considered bullying?
Did you? I mean, in all honesty, that comment or that line of comments is something that I would say I would look for on Fox.
Yes.
Fox News.
Yes.
Yeah. That is news that is non-news. I
guess I'm trying to predict the next outbreak of bullying.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting it to be in games.
Well, there already is. Last time I was on Xbox 360, I got totally ridiculed by this. I bet you he was 10 or 11, just verbally ridiculing me. It was bullying as far as I was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
He called me a noob.
These games really do bring out like the worst in everyone, because this is no different to what happens in DayZ when people handcuff you and make you eat stuff, and it's no different apart from in this game you can get naked.
Aren't you glad you moved away from Wales?
Because I suspect he's not talking about DayZ. He's had some sort of like Vietnam style flashback there.
You went there, man.
That's Saturday night, Haversford West. I hear banjos.
Well, anyway, that's what's going on over there. I don't know.
This is similar to
You could shoot them. I think you could shoot the Penis Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
another MMO where you got people going around ganking other people.
Mm-hmm. It's just a video game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Just grow up. Like
If you're gonna go kill yourself from being bullied in a pre-alpha game,
Or even worse is that it's artificial intelligence that you're feeling is bullying you. Are you going to complain now because you can't beat the single player on super easy of Call of Duty, you went through Call of Duty single player and you didn't get any awards and oh wait, that's how it all started. Mm-hmm. We had to put all those awards in because people were whining and it was too hard.
I need a participation award.
Yeah. Congratulations, you just died. Achievement unlocked. Sucking.
I mean, I guess you do.
That's
get
a
that,
different
don't you?
achievement.
For all these games. If you play the round and you finish it, you still get points no matter what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's your participation award. Everybody's a winner.
Okay, here's a game out there called Rage Runner Trailer, playing off of your rage, pretty much.
And run rather than being in a vehicle?
No, this one's
I'm guessing?
This one is in a vehicle of some sort. It's sort of just like a runner game with a spaceship running. I don't even know why they call it a runner, just because of the way the mobile market has coined the term. Anyway, you're flying your ship through this, and they come up with parts of the game that are purposely so difficult that you're going to get upset, probably.
I wonder if it has an ending. Maybe that's why
it's called an anger
that's why
stroke. That's what the ending is.
Okay. That's not enough to talk about.
I know,
that one,
because
so
it's an infinite path. So
I'm gonna move on to the next topic just because that one was kind of boring. Yeah, infinite, frustrating, spend money, whatever. Okay, let's move on to this tap tap birds thing. Okay, so there is a game that's been on the mobile market that came up on the mobile market. What is it called? I forgot what it's called.
Flappy Birds.
Flappy Birds.
Flappy
which is what you're
Bird.
seeing up here right
Flappy.
now. And it spurred some debates about people copying other games because it is quite obviously just a copy of another game. See, here's Flappy Birds, here's Pew Pew.
It's Helicopter.
You can, in some cases,
It
put these
is.
side by side and see how the game is the same game.
even yeah, like Ham said, even before Pew Pew, it was Helicopter.
Yeah. But it's
You didn't have the little duck beak on it, but you had a little yellow helicopter that you had to pilot.
Yeah, my sister, or not my sister, my niece showed me this when I was back in Chicago a week or two ago, and she's playing this game. I'm sitting across from her, and she's like, "Oh, this game is really fun, and it just came out today, and it's already #1 in the Google Play Store." And so I asked her to show me the game, and she's like, "Okay, so here's the game." And immediately when she showed it to me, I said, "Oh, it's Helicopter. This game came out a long time ago."
Yeah, like 1988.
Yeah. But of course, she didn't know what Helicopter was. But
there is a market, a growing market, in the jobs market of people looking for other developers who will clone games, such as a thing here that says clone Android game with Corona, or Unity game developer, long-time collaboration, clone game. People who are specifically out there trying to hire people to clone other games and to try and clone their success. But not just that, but then taking it a step further and figuring out how to market it or put you at the top of the list. There is a lot of questions being thrown at this developer saying, how are you at the top of the list with all of your games? And a lot of people are almost certain that he's paying people to run robot scripts, which there are out there, to make it look like that they are the most popular game. These robots are out there downloading and rating the games. And the craziest thing is another trend, which I guess is an off-topic. I don't need to get into that now. The trend that I think that people are coming up with on Amazon.com and games like this, that is people making the craziest reviews, like telling a story, a horrible story, and about how this game is so bad because they're addicted to it.
That reminds me of something that I saw this week. It's Doctor Who related, but it's kind of along those lines. They're currently filming Series 8, so they are, it's not even done. They're actually physically filming it right now. But already you can pre-order it, which is another kind of story. But already there are reviews on Amazon for the series saying how good it is. And I assume that started as a joke, but it's now to the point where it's like, it's now got a really high rating.
That's like Call of Duty. They had that too.
It's like Call of Duty.
Yeah, but Call of Duty, you know what you're getting anyway, so.
Yeah,
but
it's the same game.
It's now to the point where it's just like, now it's being reviewed before it even exists.
Yeah.
Like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And people love it and hate it even before it's released. I love Call of Duty. It's not due out for another 2 years. Yeah, but it's the best game ever.
Yeah, I'm not going to take away from Flappy Birds. It's fine. It's not original so much as a fresh coat of paint on something that already existed, and that's fine. I mean, that's kind of what creativity or art is.
Well,
It's
how can Flappy Birds exist when Angry Birds is out there? Did they not copyright the name Birds?
Well, we'll have to get the legal team.
Let me just get onto legal and get back to you.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't call it Flappy Candy Bird Saga.
Candy Bird Saga of Angriness.
That's the perfect name.
Oh wow! Igor just sent me a little link here that's for a Kindle edition book that is how to start in the reskinning apps business today.
Nice.
I can't seem to get into the chat
But
right now.
okay, and then I've also got a problem with this because wasn't this in the news Well, it's always been in the news, but there was a huge outcry of people just taking the same source code and popping it out onto, popping the same game back onto iTunes and selling it for cheap.
Yes.
And there was a big outcry about that, and there's still no policing on that.
There is none at all.
And so that's why this market exists, because there's people out there, and they're getting paid in Bitcoin so that there's no traceability to the currency. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
I don't like it, but there apparently is nothing that can be done.
There's a line in this book that when I was researching this topic, I found that in some ways reskinning apps is like Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. That's pretty funny. This can't be a real book.
This gives me hope that some of the games that I thought were probably too basic or too silly for me to really pursue some of those ideas. I'm like, well, if people are willing to just kind of tap on the phone, and this is...
Oh, people are mad for this. Absolutely fucking loving it.
Yeah, maybe I should really think about and pursue some of those ideas I thought was like, that's maybe too basic or too silly. So let this be a lesson to you all, folks. There's never too low that you can go.
So you heard it first. Ham's going to have the new Viagra game where you got to tap the screen to get the erection.
Oh, God.
Place phone over crotch. Tap repeatedly. I like this comment in here of this what you've sent here. It says sleazy business practices wrapped up in an advert for his company. This needs to end. Reskinning like this is why the app stores are devolving into an Atari-era saturation of garbage. Reskinning is tantamount to stealing someone else's idea and repackaging it with your name on it. It's not illegal, but highly unethical and immoral. Scumbag practices like this contributed to the video game crash of the 80s that nearly destroyed the entire industry. What we've been saying, it's coming, you're killing yourself. And by participating in it, by saying there's nothing wrong with Flappy Birds, and just saying, it's a new coat of paint on an old game and being okay with that, that's why. You end up with shat.
Well, I suppose I should, what I'm saying when I say that is that I'm not mad that the guy is successful. That I created. I'm not going to be jealous or anything like that. It is what it is, and people are crazy about it. I'm not going to say it's helpful to the industry. Definitely not. But there it is. The people have spoken and played. But I don't disagree with you. It's not helpful, and it probably will contribute to a decline.
We're already seeing the decline of the gaming industry. And it's evident by the fact that the gaming industry as a whole, whether you look at EA or whether you look at Activision or whether you look at any other major publisher out there, they are all charging more for less. And the reason they're doing that is because it's been monetized to the point where it is no longer self-sufficient. Before you could make money at it. Now they can't make money at it, so they have to overprice less to try and fill that void. And every year it's going to get worse because shareholders are going to expect their money, yet they can't afford to pay shareholders and developers. So the shareholders are always going to get their money. Developers, not so much so. That starts happening. You get this trend of downward development, and you end up with less and less quality, less and less game for more and more money.
And the thing is, the shareholders want more money every year. It's
every
always
year.
about,
Well, they're expecting growth on their investment.
Right.
Yeah, and we're exactly, Morphus. Except I'm going to take it one step further. We're racing to the lowest common denominator, which is not a good thing. Nobody is stepping out of that trend and saying, you know what, fuck it, this is not going to happen, and we're going to end up seeing like we saw in the 80s, where gaming just stopped. There was no growth, and then we had to basically rebuild everything from scratch. That's where all that's when and Foyle, you'll testify to this. That's where modding started to really become big, because that contributed to the regrowth of the industry. Yeah. And it's now regressed to the point where there is no creativity left.
Tap.
So
tap.
Just reminds me of that Simpsons episode. Tap.
Yeah.
So I missed all that. I was playing Flappy Birds. What did you say?
Did you say Fappy Birds? Because that's I think
Fappy. He did say Fappy. It's already been reskinned to something else. They saved 0.2 of a yen by not putting the L in Flappy. Now it's Fappy Birds.
that's a
Spill my water all over me now.
That's an absolutely different game.
That's Ham's game.
Hey, I'm gonna make it.
Breezy's game is probably Fatty Birds.
Fatty Bird.
Oh, okay.
It's exactly the same as Pac-Man, except you're a fat woman eating burgers.
Eating diet pills. Why do I just keep getting bigger?
All
That
right.
one doesn't. It can't make that sound. It's got to make something different, like nom nom.
We need something for the ghosts. The ghosts can be personal trainers.
You got to run from them.
Yeah.
I never run with scissors. Those last 2 words were unnecessary.
What?
It'll sink in eventually.
Okay.
All right.
All right, let's carry on.
Yeah, please. We have.
Oh, what is going on here? There's a whole bunch of new. Who renumbered these topics?
So apparently, Bill Gates is back over. Has an office over at Microsoft, and I think he's on a. You know,
What are
he's,
you doing
he's
here?
What's that? I'm sort of going.
Nice.
I'm back and forth a little bit.
All right, I see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And I think he's trying to help break in the new CEO. CEO, which is Satya Nadella. Right over here.
that guy.
Yeah.
He's taking over. Wow, I suddenly drew a blank on what's his name? Who was
Balmer.
Balmer? Thank you. Who was over at Microsoft? Now we got this guy because they needed a younger look.
Oh, fuck. Have you seen the pictures of Bill Gates?
Yeah, that one right there. I don't know how recent that is. I think that's fairly recent.
Anyways, yeah. So
we got the new CEO, but there's this little story which I'm not sure is how true it really is, but it's kind of funny. The idea here is that Bill Gates was in his office and he's getting all situated. He's installing Windows 8.1 and he runs into a snag. It turns out that he's having some trouble installing. After failing the install upgrade, Gates calls in the new CEO, Satya, for some help, and they close the door, and someone on the outside who filled them in on what's going on described the situation as being tense.
See, I don't know how true this is because you'd have to assume that somebody would have installed this before you even arrived at work.
Yep. And in the end, he said for now he's just going to continue working on Windows 7 because he couldn't get 8 installed.
I'm not 100% sure about that because Bill Gates has always been a hands-on kind of guy.
Yeah,
so
true.
if he's hearing public saying, this is shit, this is crap, he's going to see, okay, is this shit, is this crap? And if it is shit and crap, he's not going to call it, a candy-coated tasty nougat. He's going to call it a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. And this story is coming from the magazine The New Yorker, which doesn't usually write humor articles.
No.
So I'm not quite sure where this is coming from.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
I do like that you called the CEO in though. That's
Yeah.
something. There's a joke in there about how many like Microsoft executives does it take to install? But I'm not gifted enough to think of it.
Windows 8.
I could see this being real.
Yeah, I could too.
It's so bizarre that it could be real.
There was a story that I know to be true a while back where was it on Vista? There was some. No, it was on Microsoft's website. Bill Gates reportedly sort of complained to some of the developers that it was just extremely hard to access the information he needed on Microsoft's website, and he just kind of complained and said, "Why is it so difficult to get what I need on our own website?" And I know that was true. So this could definitely be real.
It could be, but it's funny either way. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. Ham went through some. Not installing though, just using.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay. in the little chat window here. I think Strider's disagreeing.
Carry on.
With our ending video because I think we've talked enough today.
Yeah.
I think we've said enough. So any other topics that you guys want to bring up at the end of the show? Oh, I should mention that Stryder won't be with us next week, so have fun.
No, I will be. I will be drunk on a beach in Jamaica.
Yes.
Go to Jamaica again?
Fucking rights.
What the hell?
Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap the show up?
I like bacon. Bacon bowls.
Bacon's good.
Bits. Bacon spray. Spray on bacon.
Spray on bacon.
Bacon body spray. Why is that not existing yet, Axe?
I went to watch the Lego movie last night. That was actually pretty funny.
It was funny.
Yeah, so it was really good.
Yeah. But we actually went. I don't know if you've seen this. It's actually a slight technology-based thing. They got D. It's called D-Box. They've got it in select North American cinemas now, where you basically sit in your chair and the chair's like got pneumatic things under it, so it moves with the movie.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Like so, the camera, the character's running to the right or falls over and it shakes the chair for you, and it was just so funny because it started off we like jacked it up because it has like a setting on it. You can have it like 3 settings, like the top setting, the middle, and then low, and then you can actually turn it off as well, which I thought was actually a pretty good idea. So me and my roommate jacked it up to as high as it would go to see what it would do, and it starts the movie and literally just doing this, shaking on and like throwing on. I had to turn mine right down because I kept thinking, and we noticed that the popcorn holder's like reinforced. I was like, what is happening? And you just sit in this chair and it just throws you about back and forth. Like, when you're on a plane and there's turbulence, it was like that while trying to watch a movie. It was just ridiculous. Funny, but ridiculous.
Does it come with seatbelts?
No, it doesn't, but it probably should.
Oh man.
But if anyone, that was our first thing, was like, we're gonna puke everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would totally puke.
Did you?
But if you me. No, I didn't. No, because I turned it right down because I just couldn't. I just shaking around.
See, if you had that with the Oculus on.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Okay.
But just if you get a chance, go check it out. If you have like some coupons or something.
Lego movie.
It's just the D-Box thing.
Oh.
Because it's funny. It's just a laugh. It's really not like the greatest thing. I want that in every. Yeah, I almost did get thrown through the screen.
In Korea apparently has quite the opposite. They have a theater full of beds, so you can lay down while watching the movie.
That's porn. That's an entirely different theater.
You do not want the back row in that one.
Oh.
Yeah, hopefully they change the sheets between each showing.
There it is.
Yeah. You knew we'd get to that line eventually.
Yeah.
You were warned at the top of the show.
All right.
I'm going to thank our host for taking the time out to chat today. Welshy, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem.
Yes, Stryder, thank you for joining us today.
It's always an adventure.
Ham, thank you very much for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and Breesy, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I am going to say...
That's what he said.
We'll be back next week, but if you like the show, consider subscribing to either Mods Online or donating over at MODSonair.com, all of our past episodes. So go out and play some games like Insurgency or something like that, and have fun. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching this week, and come back next week when we will broadcast another live show. Details for this and all past episodes can be found at MODSonair.com. We welcome your feedback via email at mailbag@modsonair.com, and please consider subscribing to modsonline.com to support our show. The opinions expressed by individuals on this program are not necessarily the opinions of our sponsors, owners, or partners. And in certain parts of the U.S., you may have seen this Super Bowl commercial.
I'm Jamie Casino. You may have seen some of my personal injury commercials on TV. I wasn't always a personal injury lawyer. I once was a notorious criminal defense lawyer who was employed by some of the most cold-hearted villains. My art brought me great wealth until one day my little brother Michael and his friend were 2 of 4 people whose lives were taken.
Your brother was involved in a situation last night. He was shot. He didn't make it.
After the tragedy, our chief of police deceived you to make it look like the police department had lost control.
No innocent people were targeted.
Daddy, what do you do when you go to work?
At some point, a man must ask why God created him.
What the hell is
It's a personal injury commercial.
It's a preview for the new Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah, he does anything. We need a commercial like this for our show.
Shitty thing is, this is actually a real commercial.
I'm telling Jamie Casino,
This really is a real
I don't
commercial.
represent villains anymore. I speak for innocent victims who cannot speak for themselves.
What clown show is this?
We could do one. We could have like Stryder smashing up copies of Stalker.
Oh, I like Stalker now. It was just at the time I didn't really need to be learning a foreign language. I didn't have the time to commit to learning a foreign language at that present time.
Get out of here, stalker.
Maybe we can put something together in Seattle.
Something in Russian.
I could do the same, but with what the hell was that game?
We could get Welshy to speak Russian because he's got this awesome Russian accent.
I just realized what you're talking about. Yeah, that was funny.
That was
I
horrible.
was so drunk when I was doing that. So drunk. That was just genuinely, I'm trashed, and he went, "Yeah, let's do that." Okay.
For those of you that are trying to catch up to this horribly sounding story, Welshy got contracted to do voice acting as a Russian because nothing says Russian like
someone from Wales. Yeah.
And it was
I
quite possibly the most humorous thing I have ever heard in my life.
I wish I still had that audio file. I don't know where. I don't.
I think I do on one of my older computers.
Yeah, it might be on one of my old drives somewhere. Yeah.
We need that.
Anyways,
It was like midnight, and I'm drunk as hell, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." Okay.
Hi, everybody.
All right, everyone. We're out of here. Have a great week.